Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about energy bands of semiconductor. So in semiconductor there are two types, intrinsic and extrinsic, and further in an extrinsic semiconductor there are again two types, n-type and p-type. So in all we have three kind of structures, one for intrinsic, then for n-type and then for p-type. So first I am starting with intrinsic semiconductor. So here in the diagram we have shown the valence band and conduction band for intrinsic semiconductors at two different temperature. This is for T is equal to 0 Kelvin and this is for T is greater than 0 Kelvin. Now when temperature is equal to 0 Kelvin, the valence band of a semiconductor is completely filled while its conduction band is completely empty, as shown in this diagram. So at 0 Kelvin temperature there are no electrons present in conduction band, and that's why at T is equal to 0 Kelvin this intrinsic semiconductor behaves like an insulator. Okay, at T is equal to 0 Kelvin there are no electrons in conduction band, therefore this intrinsic semiconductor at 0 Kelvin behaves as an insulator. While if the temperature is greater than 0 Kelvin or at higher temperatures, some of the electrons of the valence band, some of the electrons of the valence band gain sufficient energy which is equal to this energy band gap. This is the energy band gap. So because of the temperature rise, some of the electrons present in the valence band gain energy and jump to the conduction band. Now the number of electrons that jump to the conduction band, they create equal number of holes in valence band corresponding to them. So these thermally excited electrons that occupy the lowest possible energy levels in the conduction band, and the energy band diagram here showing that the electrons are going from this site, from these sites to conduction band, leaving empty space behind them, and we call these space as hole. So these are holes. If the energy for the valence band is EV and for conduction band is EC, so this gap is the difference between these EV and EC. The point we have to note here, in case of intrinsic semiconductor, the number of electrons that are responsible for conduction are those that are present in conduction band, and the number of holes that we are getting in the valence band is equal to the number of holes in conduction band. That means in case of intrinsic semiconductor, number of electrons in conduction band is equal to the number of holes in valence band, because these electrons when jump to the conduction band leave a hole behind them in the valence band. So in conduction band number of electron is equal to the number of holes in valence band. So this is for intrinsic semiconductor. Now the case second is for extrinsic semiconductor, and in extrinsic semiconductor there is impurity added to the pure semiconductor, then we obtain the extrinsic one. So depending on the impurity, there are two types of extrinsic semiconductor, n-type and p-type. First we are talking about the energy band structure of n-type extrinsic semiconductor. The first type we are dealing with is n-type extrinsic semiconductor. So here we are showing the n-type semiconductor in energy band formation. This is the valence band, this is conduction band. In valence band we have electrons, and some of the electrons from valence band jump to the conduction band. Okay, so these some of the electrons from valence band jump to the conduction band. The energy difference is the energy gap Eg, and electron get energy and jump to the conduction band. The energy level is increasing, electron energy is increasing from valence band to conduction band. Now when these electrons jump to this conduction band, they lie somewhere like this. But during the formation of n-type semiconductor, the impurity that we add is pentavalent. This we have to remember. The impurity that we add to the pure one is pentavalent. Then we get n-type extrinsic semiconductor. That means it has one extra electron which is very weakly attracted by the donor impurity. So this extra electron, it is very weakly attracted to the donor impurity and can get easily detached from that impurity atom, and a very small energy is sufficient to free this electron from the donor impurity. So when we want to free this electron, we have to provide a very less amount of energy, about 0.01 electron volt, which is very less in comparison to this energy gap. So when we freed this electron will occupy the lowest possible energy level in the conduction band, and the energy of donor electron is slightly less than the EC. Okay, so the donor energy level that we represent by ED, donor energy level is represented by ED. This we show just below the bottom of the conduction band because its energy is slightly less than the EC. That means this level is called the donor impurity level, ED, and the energy that is required by the electron to jump from this donor level to the conduction band is very less. This difference is about 0.01 eV, and because of this some of the electrons of the donor impurity also move to the conduction band. That's why in n-type semiconductor we get more number of electrons in conduction band as compared to the number of holes in the valence band. They are not equal in case of n-type semiconductor. So at room temperature, because of this small energy gap, this can be easily covered. That's why the thermally excited electrons cover this energy gap, and the conduction band has more electrons as compared to the holes in the valence band, and they both have contributed the conduction of this n-type semiconductor. So that's how we can define the energy band structure of n-type semiconductor. Now let's move to the p-type. In p-type semiconductor, each acceptor impurity creates a hole, as it can accept electrons from the valence band and create a hole which can be easily filled by an electron of silicon-silicon covalent bond, and a very small energy of about 0.01 to 0.05 electron volt is required by an electron of valence band to move into this hole. So the acceptor energy level lie just above the or slightly above the valence band, as a very less amount of energy, about 0.01 to 0.05, it's 0.05 electron volt is required by the electrons. So at room temperature, many of the electrons of this band get excited and move to the acceptor energy level, leaving behind equal number of holes in the valence band. So electrons of this valence band get small amount of energy and move to this acceptor level. So we get holes created in the valence band, and these holes can conduct current. So valence band has more number of holes than the electrons in the conduction band, means electrons from valence band has two options. They can either jump to the conduction band or they can either jump to the acceptor level, but this acceptor level is very close to the valence band, so the number of electrons that are moving from valence band is very large, and out of all those electrons, the few number of electrons move to the conduction band while all other stays at acceptor level. Hence we can conclude that the number of electrons in conduction band is less than the number of holes in valence band, and the conduction is majorly because of this holes present in the valence band in case of p-type semiconductor. The energy needed by the holes to move to the acceptor level is very small, that is 0.01 to 0.05 electron volt, which can be easily imparted to that electrons by just room temperature. That's why a large number of electron move to the acceptor level instead of the conduction band. So this is the explanation for p-type semiconductors energy band structure. For further videos, stay tuned and keep studying. Thank you.